Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Chronic Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Lexy, and wow, it's been a minute since we did a solo episode. I've missed this. I've missed you. It's December. If you can't tell, if you're watching on YouTube, you're watching the video podcast episode. We do have our Christmas tree behind us. How beautiful is she, right? I love her. Love a good Christmas tree. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a longtime listener, thank you so much for being here, as always. Um, if you're new here, maybe I could give a little bit of background on myself really quick. My name's Lexi. I am 28. I just turned 28 in October. So we are approaching the 30, flirty, and thriving era of my life. Um, I have endometriosis, PCOS, POTS, factor V Leiden, which is a blood clotting disorder. I have ADHD. I got diagnosed with OCD recently, a couple of months ago. Well, more like 6 months ago. Um, I think that those are all of like the big guys. I have so many things I like forget exactly what I have, but those are the big guys. If you were to ask me like what's my main chronic illness, I would say endometriosis. But as of recently, PCOS has kind of been making my life really, really hard. So maybe PCOS, but endo is definitely why I started the podcast. That was like endometriosis is the um devil on my shoulder in my life. So that's my big guy. And yeah, if you are new here, I started this podcast over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, really to bring more education, awareness, and personal stories to the chronic illness space. And it's not all endometriosis focused. Like I wanted to, it's called the Chronic Chronicles because I wanted to keep it open to all chronic illnesses, all chronic disease. I have a science background, so I love anything really like research related, science related. I love like talking about the human body, learning about that stuff. I would definitely categorize myself as like a lifelong learner. I love learning. I love school. I would go back to school tomorrow if it didn't cost an arm and a leg to do that. So, yeah. I like reading, but I've been going through a little bit of a reading rut recently where I really can't get myself to read. So, yeah, that's kind of the background about me. Oh, I have little brothers. I'm the oldest sister. Well, I'm the oldest in general, but I have no sisters. I have brothers. I think that's like the main thing about me. I have a cat, my little Bella baby. She's so sweet. She might pop up at some point. I encourage you to watch the videos on YouTube so that way you can see how adorable my chunky little Bella baby cat is because she's so freaking cute. But that's really like the basis of me. Thank you so much for being here. So today's episode is something that I've kind of been craving for a while. It's kind of just like a cozy little catch up, and we are going to talk about the nitty-gritty life of chronic illness, but this is kind of more of an informal episode, a little heart to heart, if you will. This is full transparency. I have been, I think, dealing with a little bit of burnout recently, which, as somebody who is type A ADHD, unmedicated, by the way, you'll probably figure that out if you're new here. But I am a productivity queen. I like to be productive. I like lists. I like challenges, like 30-day challenges. I feel like that, like lists and challenges and being productive are kind of like what run my life, and they honestly help me with my ADHD a lot. So, being in burnout, I feel like sometimes I don't realize that I'm approaching burnout until I'm already there, until it's too late. And then I'm like, oh shit, I am burnt out. So, yeah, this episode's just a little bit different. Just kind of, I want us to take some deep breaths together, reflect, and kind of hit the reset button together and get out. I feel like a lot of people are burnt out recently. I feel like a lot of my friends that I've been talking to have also been feeling pretty burnt out and feeling like this just like dread a little bit, and like life is really hard right now and it's like hard to get up in the morning and daylight savings, it's so dark outside. Winter is naturally though the time of the year where everybody does slow down a little bit, and I think that's totally okay. But yeah, I've just been feeling, I think, burnt out. I don't know. So Thanksgiving just passed. We're officially in that season, the stretch of time where everything seems to really speed up and the holiday plans, the end of the year projects, social expectations, there's Christmas parties galore. But here's the thing. Our bodies don't always move at the pace of the season, especially if you're living with chronic illness, neurodivergence, or just life being burnt out. Like, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to not go to all the holiday parties. It's okay to say no to things. And it's okay to like slow down and like really try to be in the moment this holiday season because it does in your adult life go so quickly, which is also why my Christmas tree has been up since November 2nd, by the way. And I love that. I feel like it's only been up for like 3 days and it's been up for a whole month. And but yeah, I really just encourage you to slow down this holiday season and take in all of the moments because it's really such a beautiful time. It's a really good time to sit back and like reflect on your year, your week, your day, your life, and look for the things that are good in your life and be grateful for them. I really tend to go back towards journaling in this time of the year and do some like mindfulness and gratefulness. So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to do that too. So I thought that this would be a really good time to reconnect, like I said, to check in, reflect on what's been happening in life lately, and share some things that I've been loving and guide you through a little gentle post-holiday reset. So, if you're feeling a little out of sync, a little overstimulated, or just in need of a little pause, then this episode is definitely for you. Lock in, put your headphones on, get your little coffee, maybe your glass of wine, an electrolyte drink. If you're on a hot girl walk, tune in because it's gonna be a nice little reset. Let's do a quick little inhale and exhale to really ease into it. So we're gonna breathe in and breathe out. I don't know if you guys can hear that over the microphone, but we just did some breaths together. All right, so let's start with a little bit of a life update. Life lately has felt layered, beautiful, chaotic always, but a little disorientating all at once. I've been juggling a lot from running this podcast to planning new projects and prepping a few new exciting brand partnerships behind the scenes. And while I love being in my creative flow, I've also hit some walls physically and mentally. And chronic illness doesn't, we all know this, right? Chronic illness doesn't just pause because life gets big and full. My endometriosis has been flaring more than usual. My back, thanks, spondy, has been hurting and unpredictable. And there have been more mornings that I couldn't walk without like feeling a lot of pain and like wincing, and others where I felt strong enough to just go on a long walk or a slow walk or and there's been others where I felt strong enough to go on a walk and soak in this like crisp air because I do think that walks in the crisp, cold air are honestly the best. Like it's so much better than summer walks where you're just sweating your little booty off. I love the crisp air. So, and like I said, I've also been wrestling with burnout. Wait, you're still getting things done, but your nervous system is just fried and creativity is like flickering in and out when I really want to like be creative in this season. It's just been really hard. Oh my God. Also, if you follow me on socials, then you already know this, but I got engaged. If you're looking at the video, here's my ring. Yeah, I got engaged 2 months ago. So, what was the date? I think it was, I should know this, September 21st, probably. Um, we went on a trip back to Michigan and yeah, we got engaged. I'm so freaking excited. I'm so excited. But yeah, oh my God, like I've wanted this for so long and I'm so incredibly happy to be engaged to the absolute love of my life, my best friend, Mushy Gushy Ushy. Love him. That all being said, wedding planning is stressful, but it's amazing. I also like type A, love planning. I really do like wedding planning, but like we can't lie and say that's not stressful. It's a good stress, but your body doesn't know the difference between good and bad stress. It just knows stress. So wedding planning is still, humming around in the background, and Tyler and I are dreaming up a day that feels like us, something that is so amazing, joyful, full of intention. Um, I do have many, many. I'm so type A, guys. You should see my fucking Pinterest board. It is literally like the day, and then it has like like five, no, honestly, probably 10 subsections of like ceremony, reception, florals, dinner, like my dress, bridesmaids, all of the things. So yeah, I love a good Pinterest board. Um, but I'm loving that. And then there's like this quiet identity shift that I've been feeling, kind of like a shedding of old expectations, if you will, really of needing to prove how resilient I am, like trying to prove what my worth is, all of that stuff. I've honestly been feeling that kind of just shed away. And I don't know if that is something that happens when you like get engaged. It's really weird. Like this is gonna sound, I don't know. I don't know. You guys are gonna be like, what the fuck is she talking about? But just hear me out really quick, okay? Hear me out. Getting engaged has actually changed how I feel, view, and live my life, which is weird because my fiance and I have been together for 10 years. And in my brain, before we got engaged, I was like, nothing's gonna change. Like, we already live together, we've been best friends, we have shared bank accounts. Like, what is the only thing that's changing is like legally we're married and like I have a ring on my finger. And I didn't, I mean, obviously, yes, like we're more committed to each other, but like in my brain, I'm like, we're already so committed to each other. So I wanted, like, we both wanted to get married. We wanted to be engaged. I want a ring on my finger. Like, I wanted all of that. I just didn't think it was gonna like change anything. But like somehow it was literally like pretty much the moment we got engaged, I so much like anxiety, worry, like confidence, like it's crazy. It all changed. Like I no longer, I mean, I feel like everybody has a little bit of relationship anxiety in general. Like, there's always those memes that it's like, do you still love me? Do you love me? And I don't feel that way anymore, which is really weird. Maybe it's just because I do have a ring on my finger and I know that like I knew we were committed to each other, but now it's like an extra layer of commitment that like he got down on a knee and like promised future, like this future to me that like we already had promised to each other, but now it's like I don't know, I feel like I'm doing a bad job at explaining this, but it's kind of crazy. Like any relationship anxiety or like worry faded away like pretty much immediately. And that was a interesting change that I didn't even really know that I felt that much, but like I just don't feel that at all anymore. I'm like, yeah, yeah, like this is life that we're together. We love each other. We're getting married. Yeah, like he's not going anywhere. And then on top of that, I find myself having this like increased amount of confidence about everything, like about our relationship, about myself, about how I feel about myself physically. Like I feel prettier. I feel more confident in my body. I feel more confident about like anything I can do. I really just feel like I can do anything in life. And I don't know why an engagement ring and getting married has done that to me, but it did. So I'm curious if anyone else, when you get engaged, do you feel that way? But yeah, I just feel an immense amount of peace. Like, yes, this is correct. He is my person, and I feel so much peace. And then this is the last thing I'm going to say about it, and then we'll move on to like what you guys actually care about because you're probably like, "Oh my God, we do not care about your love life, Lexi. We don't care." And maybe you do care. Let me know. But this is the other thing. So, if you have been watching the vlogs on YouTube, or I might have talked about this on the podcast, but I am not inherently a religious person. I did grow up kind of with church ties, but like I didn't really grow up going to church that much. Over the summer, I don't know, I just like decided I wanted to start reading the Bible. And there are like layered reasons to that, but despite that, if you guys want me to get into that, we can get into that on a different day. But I started reading the Bible just like kind of as literature. I wanted to just read it and know, like, be able to converse with people about religion if I wanted to. There were kind of like shows or jokes or people would talk about things and I'd be like, I don't know what they're talking about because I just wasn't familiar with like stories in the Bible. So anyways, I started reading the Bible as literature. Still reading it. Obviously, it's quite a long read. So, but I've still been reading it kind of in and out. Okay. Before we got engaged, we've been together for 10 years, and I feel like, let me just preface by saying I have always felt like my fiance was the one. I have always felt like that was the right choice. He is my best friend. I have always thought I wanted to marry him. Now, that being said, I think anybody is lying to you if they say that they have never like wondered, or I don't even want to say second guess because I don't think it was ever actually second guessing, but just like been like, are we sure? Like, is this right? Because marriage is a huge decision, whether people like minimize it or not. It's a really big decision. So I think that anyone who looks at you and says, oh, they were always the one, and I never ever was like worried about it, or I hate the word second guessed, but like I can't think of a different word, but like kind of second guessed it, you're lying. Because there's no way that you go into such a huge commitment unless you like don't think marriage is as big of a deal as like I think it is. But anyways, that's fine. So, before, yeah, I don't know, probably like over the summer, the past couple of months before we got engaged, obviously we were talking about it, and I was praying and like journaling and thinking about, is this the right thing to do? A little bit. Like I think a healthy amount, a normal amount. And I was just kind of like, how do you know for sure? I feel like I know for sure, but like I like God give me a sign. Like how do you know for sure? Like I just want a sign to be sure. And I have never really, I mean, goes into the OCD thing. We're getting really off track. Sorry, ADHD. But this goes into the OCD thing a little bit. Like one of the reasons I got diagnosed with OCD is because I opened up to my therapist about like things that I do. Like for example, when I go to sleep, I pray the exact same prayer every single night. And I have pretty much my whole life in like I have to count it out on my fingers. Anyway, even though I'm like not really religious, but because I felt like if I didn't do that, something bad would happen. Yeah, now that I say it out loud, I'm like, yeah, you're OCD. But anyways, so I have prayed, and even though I don't really even know what I'm praying to or what I believe in, so then I started like praying a little bit and just being like, okay, I'm like trying to read more about the Bible. I feel like in your mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s, people do start to get a little bit more curious about religion, and they try to find meaning for life, which I think I do fall into that bracket, whatever. So I was, praying to God, and I was just like, God, like, if you're real or universe or whomever, higher power, I'm pretty sure that Tyler's my person. I'm pretty sure that we are supposed to get married. I love this man. He's my best friend. Can you give me a sign that this is what you had in plan for me? And I asked God to give me a blue jay, a blue bird, a blue jay, which keep in mind, I have never seen in Washington State before. I've been out here for like 3 years and I've just like never seen one. The only birds I see are like these little birds that are like brown, and then crows. That's like all I really see. Also, I don't like necessarily look for birds that often, but anyway, so I was asking God for a blue jay. And I did see, well, that's not the full story. Sorry. I asked God for a cardinal, for a red cardinal originally. And then I saw like a couple of things on social media that were like red birds, like cardinals. And I was like, I don't know if that's really the sign. Like I'm seeing it on social media, but also I've never been on bird TikTok before. But anyways, I was like, I don't know, God, like what are you doing here? And then I was like scrolling through my photos, and I saw in a shared album, I don't know, I was like trying to delete things in a shared album, this one picture out of like 1,000 pictures of my friends and I that we shared, that it was just this one picture of this one cardinal zoomed in. Like, what? And I was like, oh, is that the sign? Like, wait a minute, what's happening? So then I was like, okay, God, whatever you're doing, is if this is actually the sign that you're giving me that like we're supposed to get married, like this is legit, whatever. Can you give me a blue jay? Never seen a blue jay. Whatever. Honestly, this was less about my relationship with my fiance and more about my relationship with God, and being like, wait a minute, am I getting signs right now? Am I not? Like, is this for real? And then we get engaged, and literally the next week, I'm on a walk with my friend Michaela, and we're on a walk in the same boardwalk behind my apartment that we walk all of the time. And no joke, I had told her about this sign thing, and I had just gotten engaged a couple days prior. We're talking about my engagement, and all of a sudden, a blue jay flies literally right in front of our faces and lands on a tree in front of us. And we were like, what the fuck? And then another blue jay lands right next to it. Are you kidding me? Her and I just like burst into tears, and I was like, I already knew this was the right decision, but like this just feels so right in my heart. And now I'm like seeing these signs, and also now I'm having like a different relationship with God, and like I asked for these things and now I'm seeing it, and like there could be, I don't know. But anyways, that's the story. That's our engagement story. That's my God story. So yeah. But I've been trying to like figure out some things in my life like related to religion and all that stuff for a long time. But I don't know. I don't remember why I got onto that tangent, but here we are. So now you got that story. It's just kind of crazy that like getting engaged and getting married and doing all this stuff has like really cemented into myself all of the things that I want to be and all of the things that I want in life. And they're just like, I just feel like they're coming to fruition. And I feel like I have so much more confidence to like go get these things, which is weird. I don't know if it's the engagement, I think it is, or just like a new sense of love of life. But here we are. So yeah, I got engaged. My wedding is next October. So you guys will be all around for all of that planning and everything. And if you want more, just life stuff, I have been posting vlogs on YouTube as well. So go watch those. I actually just posted my engagement vlog. Okay, let's shift gears out of updates. I think those are like most of the updates though. Obviously, the biggest thing that happened was the engagement, but those are like most of the updates. I am going to Boston tonight for a quick, like, just over 24-hour trip to run the period pain simulator for some days. That's going to be really fun. So if you want to watch videos about that and you want to watch me do that, make sure you go follow on Instagram at Chronic Chronicles Pod or on YouTube at Lexy Halloran because like there will be videos on everything. So yeah, definitely go follow those. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. I want to share a few of my November favorites because sometimes joy just lives in the smallest things, and I want to give you guys ideas for more joy in your life too. So, first of all, products that I've been loving lately, my heating patches from Get Spicy. I love these things. If you don't know about them, make sure you go check them out. In the show notes, I'll also leave a link to my link tree, which has like everything. On my link tree, there's also a shop my link that has all of my gift guides that I've put out on Instagram and like links to all of them. So make sure you go look at all that stuff. But Get Spicy heat patches. I'm obsessed with them. I love them. They go with me everywhere because literally they just like stick onto your clothes and you don't have to plug anything in. Love it. And then the other thing that I've been loving is matching lounge sets because I work from home. So like I'm at home 99% of the time. And if I'm going to be working from home, like I still want to look cute, but I want to be comfortable. So matching lounge sets have been I love them. And then also one of the other things that I've been loving from my work from home life is one, turning on my Christmas tree every day, joy. Two, going on YouTube and finding like Christmas fireplace with like crackling noises and jazz or Christmas classics. I love that. So then like on your TV, it looks like a fireplace or it looks like Christmas views and it has like Christmas songs, Christmas jazz, all of that. Those are going pretty much 24/7 in my apartment while I'm working because it's so vibey. I love it. And then reads recently, on it, like I said, I've been like kind of in a reading rut, but I'm trying to get back into it, especially with like it getting so dark so early. I've been trying to read a little bit more instead of just watching Christmas movies all day long, but like I do love like a Hallmark Christmas movie, but so for reading, um I've been reading The Artist's Way, slowly reading it, but I really like that. Um, these might seem like these are all really small things, but they truly anchor me, especially on flare days or when the world feels like it's just too much, spinning too much, too loud. So All those things. I also have a Kindle that I've been trying to use more and be better about it, but I love the Kindle too. Okay, so let's talk about the idea of resetting. So this week, it's the week after Thanksgiving, is such an interesting energy. For many, it's the beginning of holiday chaos. You got Black Friday, you have Cyber Monday, just so many products being thrown around everywhere. It's good, but it's bad. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. And then for other people, it's a come down. And for some of us, it's both, which is for me. Personally, I've been craving a reset that doesn't involve like a productivity overhaul, which is unusual for me because I definitely do love productivity, but not really like a new you moment, but kind of like a just a recalibration. So here's what this week and honestly the rest of December looks like for me. I want to slow down without guilt. So we're not going to do like punishment workouts. We're not going to do an urgency to catch up, anything like that. I will be like slowly reflecting on the last year because I do love a new year reset, like an actual reset with goals and all of that. Chef's kiss. I love all of that. So kind of just letting December. Obviously, I still want to get things done, but letting December kind of just like fizzle out the new year is kind of what I want to do. I love that. Also, doing like an intentional rest, gratitude journaling, just all of that stuff. Literally resting, actually resting, trying to bring in the new year with rest and not a bunch of fatigue that I've been feeling lately. Also setting boundaries. So like I said, like December brings a lot of things. Like you just saw family for Thanksgiving potentially, and you're gonna see family for Christmas again potentially, and you have holiday parties and all this stuff. Now is a really good time to set some boundaries within yourself and with family as well, and just make sure that you are respecting what your body needs and giving those boundaries to everybody. And then also like a redefining movement. So for me, I'm trying to like I'm trying to close out the new year with doing walks again, but I'm not gonna like pressure myself into getting 10,000 steps a day because it's just gonna be a failure. It's cold out, it gets dark at 4 o'clock. So even if that means like just a quick walk, once a day, what is easiest for me to do recently is, wake up in the morning, make my coffee, and then immediately go outside and drink my coffee outside and just do like a walk around the apartment complex. It's not a long walk. It ends up being maybe 10 minutes, but it's cold out, but you still get some sun, even though it's Washington. So, like, there's really not sunshine. It's cloud coverage, but like, it's still sun. So, getting a little bit of sunshine on your face first thing in the morning. I still get my coffee. I'm just outside walking with my coffee. Um, I feel like that is the easiest thing for me to do recently, and it's like first thing in the morning, so I get to check it off my list. So that. And then this week, I want you to give yourself permission to skip the pressure to be on. It's okay. Everyone understands. It's the end of the year. We're winding down. Feel grateful, but you can also feel upset about things if you need to be. And then just let this season be soft. Even if the world feels like crazy and like they want you to do a million things, just be soft. Let yourself be soft. Let yourself close out the new or close out 2025 in whatever way you want to, whatever way is important to you. And just let yourself have some rest and relaxation and watch a Hallmark Christmas movie, even though they're awful, but they're so good because they're so awful? Here are some journal prompts that I have been working on in November and now we'll be bringing into December. But I really want you to maybe take out your journal and write all of these journal prompts down on different pages for you to come back to for the next like couple of days to really reflect on. So here are some questions you can carry into the week. What's one thing that my body needs more of right now? What can I let go of that's weighing me down energetically? Where can I invite more slowness into my days? What would it feel like to honor rest as an act of self-respect? What am I grateful for this season? You can pause the episode, journal these, or come back to them later. And if you feel like sharing, I'd really, really love to hear your reflections and hear what you think about these. You can tag at Chronic Chronicles Pod or DM me. But I'd love to hear what you're feeling, what you're grateful for, um, how we can continue to bring boundaries into the holiday season. Love all of those. I know that I will be journaling a lot this season, and I do think that it helps just reflect on things and bring in all of the things that we need coming into 2026. That felt really good having this episode. It's a short one, but it's a good one, and I needed it, and I hope that you did too. Thank you for spending part of your week with me, for making space for some coziness and for some reflection. And thank you so much for being part of this community. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend who you think needs a reset too, or leave a rating or a review. All of your ratings and reviews really, really help boost the podcast to get it to more of the community and more to the people that need it. It helps more than you know. Until next time, keep resting, keep reflecting, and keep reclaiming your joy in whatever form that takes. You're doing better than you think, and I love you guys so much. I will talk to you again soon.